in trying to scale, right? Because I've seen a couple of videos that you did. You have hydraulic presses, you have industrial machines, and I think I saw some pictures of you outside the country, and immediately it occurred to me that you probably went on tour to see what else you could add to your business. But I'll come to you on that, right? What I want to ask you is, what were the challenges? What were the major challenges you experienced in trying to scale to the point where you are? Were there financial constraints, and how did you overcome them? Were there sourcing materials challenges? I spoke with you one time and you told me that you are no longer sourcing leather from Lagos, Mushi, that what we get is typically off-cuts, so that you're sourcing from Kano, right? Which to me is very exciting. We make the leather in Nigeria and you are utilizing Nigerian leather for your work. Talk to us about how you do that. So challenges and how your sourcing gets done.
Okay, yeah. So the biggest challenge, I think, is for every business in Nigeria, of course, is funding. But you need to know when you need the funding. Most people think that they need all the machines at once. No. Just as you said, when you have reached a point where your market is demanding that you produce 10, 50, supply me 50, and it's consistent over a period of time, then you can now start looking for scaling options. Now, my challenge was finding funding. Trust me, I've been to BOI, I've been to a lot of places trying to get loans, trying to get grants or whatever. And being where I'm located, it's not a industrial hub. There are not a lot of people doing big businesses here or trying to really do what I'm trying to do. So it was a big challenge finding funding. But as I said, I have a supportive family. We just put hands together, savings and all that. And he said, you know what, let me go get. Once I understood, after that first contract that I told you I used, it was all manual. I now knew the most important part for the production process, where you needed a machine. The processes that, of course, you can manage manually, but if you had a machine to replace a certain process, it will go a long way. So the hydraulic press, the cutting, especially since it's one design, different sizes, I needed a hydraulic press. So I went for the hydraulic press. I went for industrial, the post bed. The post bed is the machine for shoemaking, the easiest machine to use for shoemaking. So I got the post bed. Then, of course, the sew presses. I fabricated sew presses. I did not need to spend a lot of money on a foreign. I just fabricated something. I could, tie my shoes. But then the skiving machine too for reducing, of course. But I've not even used the skiving machine funnily. So there were processes based on the processes that I had. I knew this was the machine I needed to get to, speeding up my process. So I went for what was available in the country. So I was able to get the hydraulic press here. Okay. Now about my trip or my traveling. Now I traveled to Kenya first. Because Kenya I traveled to Bata. I wanted to go all my Bata. Everybody knows Bata. So I said, and let me go see how Bata does. What do they do? There was an opportunity for a training, a seminar. So I took the opportunity and I went to Kenya. I went and saw a large factory. Not a large factory, but he was producing 1,000 pairs a day. He was producing the tops. So he was a subcontractor for Bata. He was producing 1,000 pieces a day. And that was my learning. Like, that opened my mind. I was like, oh wow, this thing can be easier, this thing can be faster with the use of machines. These are the machines, this is how they use them, this is the setup from this stage, this department to this department and all that. The lasting machine which I learned, that was in China. I went to China I think in 2018, and that's the most complicated machine. I would not even advise anybody to try getting a lasting machine, except you have production above 500 pairs a day. You are targeting your market. You have that kind of a market, 500 pairs and above. That's when you'll be talking about a lasting machine. So for the different parts or the different processes, I knew what machines were needed and would hasten off, speed up my process. Now, material sourcing. Now, I was traveling to Lagos almost every month to get materials for what I was doing. But then I noticed it was not consistent. Things I posted on my page, even at my small scale, one pair of shoes. So if I make a shoe today and post it, 3 months later, when somebody comes, sees the shoe and says, I want it, that leather is no longer available. It did not make any sense to me. It don't make any sense to me. But I'm like, and then I see foreign companies, they have consistently, Timberland has been making shoes for donkey how many years, and it's the same Nubuck carton brown, same texture, same everything. So I started asking why or where. I tried getting leather from Kenya, but the shipping process was tedious, so I couldn't. Then I just decided Kano leather. And you hear that Louis Vuitton comes and buys leather in Kano, and all those things. So I decided to visit them myself. Though they are very big companies, they don't service small companies or startups like us. They will not sell small quantity of leather to us. But I found a guy. It's not even, he doesn't even have a name, but he was tanning leather on a small scale. I said, what is the minimum quantity you could give me? He said, 500 square foot, 1,000 square foot. I said, okay, what type of leather can you tan? I went there, suede. He's doing suede, beautiful, any color. Cow skin, goat skin, sheep skin. He even has snake skin, even some, even can emboss patterns on ordinary leather. And I do the first contract I did, I used sheep skin and goat skin for the shoes. And then now I've sought suede. I said, okay, I just sent him colors. To my surprise, I sent him, okay, I need mustard, or I need burgundy, or I need leaf green. I just sent him a picture of what I want, the colors I want. And he does it. And some colors are a little bit off, some colors might come out, or, it's not that finishing is still a little bit, but we can use it. It's Nigerian leather. It can be, it's good as far as I'm concerned. So that's what I decided to do. So I said, and you can only do this when you are doing large scale production.
Yeah.
You have 50 pairs of one shoe of a particular design to do. So you can say, okay, give me brown leather. And once it's turning a set, it all comes out the same. Same texture, same color, same everything. So it was easier for me, to source that kind of leather. And that's what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Once in a while, yes, I still buy leather from Lagos to make some unique one-time, wedding shoes for, somebody and all that. But bulk of what I do, I source from Kano.
Excellent. I'd like to highlight something that Vivian said also in the course of her intervention. Vivian, I know Vivian. Vivian has a commercial background. Vivian has worked in the bank, so she knows how to get on the road and get the contract, right? Vivian, you've also been involved severally in doing large-scale production. I've seen on your page you've worked for Longreach, you've worked for politicians, you've worked for schools. So I think and the reason why I'm mentioning these things is because sometimes I go to somewhere like Aja in Lagos. I see about 12 shoemakers on the same street. They are all making 2 pairs a week or 2 pairs in 4 days. And I ask myself, if all these guys aggregate themselves, right, put money together, buy what Moose has bought, which is a hydraulic press, pay the rent for one of the shops, and use that place as a co-working location, they would actually do better. They will be able to source contracts better. They will be able to source grants better. And for me, that's what I've been preaching in this industry. And one of the reasons why I started this Bata Banta series is actually to promote such ideas, right? So Vivian, I want you to intervene in that regard. What can shoemakers start doing differently to get, because look, the market will drive scaling. If you do not have jobs to do, you can't scale. What can people start doing differently to see that scaling would even make sense in the first place?
Everything we need a community.
Collaboration.
Okay, because I know that in 2019 I rejected some school shoe offers because I had a school shoe asking for 200 pairs and I was asking for 100 pairs and the time was very short, and I was a bit naive, because if I had known what I know now, then I would have pulled people together and share the work, based on who is specialized in what, So imagine me rejecting about 300 to 400 pairs of school shoes because I didn't have the capacity to produce it within the number, the time frame. I said, no, I can't. They should say it again now. If I have that kind of offer now, I have come to realize that in this industry, saying no to large scale production is a sin. And why did I say that? We, like you said, should be able to come to a point where we can have a committee, a production community, bring a few, maybe 10 together, drop all self. Why you still your brand? When I bring a job, say I have 500 pairs to do, I talked to Moose. I said, can you help us with this section of it? What will it cost you to do that for us? And he used it because he has the machine, he has the capacity. I could tell him, okay, please, can you do this section for us? Can you do the cutting section for us? Can you do the skiving section for us? I mean, division of labor, you share it. That way, while someone else has done the cutting, we're moving it to Moose to help us with the skiving. And that's what they do in China. You will see a pair of shoes made by 4 or 5 companies. Someone is making the sole, somebody is making the top, someone is doing the stitching. You know, you do it and you just move. That way, we're helping each other grow. I am helping Moose grow. He's helping you, Bespoke Momo, grow. He's helping me grow because the money circulates in the industry.
Yeah.
It circulates. It's amongst us. It's circulating. I am growing. My brother is growing. Lagos, as at 2018, has over 17,000 private schools. The registered ones has about 17,000 private schools, not government schools. That was in 2018. And schools are springing up every day. For example, about school shoes, they're springing up every day. Security companies are springing up every day. How many people can I service? Now, if I have 17,000 schools who wear shoes and I get 20% of the market, 20, that's the whole lot. That's the whole lot of production. Even the 10% of the market.
Vivian, if you get 2% of that market,
if you get
2% of that market,
2%. Yes, it's a lot of. So we should begin to look.
Hear your story.
Yeah.
And we're talking about, and we're saying that Nigeria has 33 states plus the FCT. Servicing Nigeria alone is a lot.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a very interesting angle to come from, which Vivian spoke about. Now, in my trip to China, just as you said, one company doesn't do it all. I mean, you can't even do it all. And that will be the strength. I mean, you have visited Aba. I believe you have gone to Aba. You've been to Aba. That's what that's what they do. Division of labor.
Yeah.
So this person is making insoles. This is the people cutting. These are the people stitching. This is the group of people laughing. These are the people soling, attaching soles. So each person, you don't need to, as much as it's good to learn everything, like know everything about the industry, but just as Vivian said, we need to come together. If not, we'll never grow. A lot of people will never go beyond where they are. Their contracts. We can, even if we say we focus on our military, our youth corps, schools, the different branch of the military only. We are just saying nobody's importing any shoes again. We're going to work to make sure every single military shoe worn in this country is made in Nigeria. We will be busy from beginning of the year to the end of the year, just servicing the Nigerian market. Because Aba services, most of the people that come to buy from Aba are neighboring countries. So my advice would be, get to know shoemaking, learn standards, there are international standards for shoemaking. Please learn those standards, know those standards, educate yourself theoretically too, not just practically. Read about shoemaking, read about the foot, the leg, foot bone structure, read all those things so you are confident with what it means to make a shoe. Study material selection, those are aspects of shoemaking. Study, because there are so many angles or there are so many parts of the industry that people can go into. When we've learned all these parts and we come together, I'm in Benue State, yes, it's far from Lagos and all that, but if we have big contracts, the bigger the contract, the easier it is. I say, okay, I have a hydraulic press here. I will cut, I know where to source for knives. Create the patterns, send me the patterns I send, they make the knives where I make my clicking knives. I will do the cutting. In 1 week or so, I've sent you 5,000 pairs of the top. Okay, the person, they are very good. Maybe there's a particular someone in the state that have very good, stitchers, people who sew. They quickly understand. Somebody goes, puts the pattern, shows them how to assemble it, they put it together, take it to another, or even within Lagos, the one person is handling just the insoles. They putting the fiber together and putting the shanks and this, and that is all they do. 1,000 pieces or 5,000 pieces. That is the only way the shoe industry will grow in Nigeria. It's the same thing everywhere. In Kenya, it's the same thing in China, it's the same thing in Taiwan, the same thing anywhere you find shoe companies doing large scale. In India, it is not one person making one shoe, because we're not getting value for making one shoe in this country. Nobody's going to pay you 100,000. Sorry, people hardly pay 100,000 naira for a pair of shoes. But you see guys, Italian shoemakers, English shoemakers, getting $1,000 for a pair of shoes. We don't have that here. So our only chance, because of our population, how large we are, and a red, is to divide this labor. People go into this aspect, and that's the way we'll be able to, each person, with, just as Vivian said, the money will go around. I think it's the same thing. When I heard Cubana, sorry for bringing it up, talk about how his industry grew. You know, his guys, most of the guys around him, this one supplies this one supplies that. That's how they have built an empire. It's the same thing in this industry.
The key things that have stood out for me is that we should not compete where we are supposed to collaborate. Collaborate with the shoemakers around. Put out your best foot forward every single time, and when you see that the drum beats have started sounding for you to scale, don't be shy about scaling. Source the funding you require and then scale as appropriate. Something I want to point out is cooperative societies. If 5 shoemakers around about the same area come together and decide that, look, from now we'll be contributing 10,000 naira every month to buy a certain equipment, you can actually do a whole lot in that regard. So with that, I would like to say thank you very much to everyone who has tuned in. Thank you very much to the speakers. Thank you, Moose. I'll come to Makodi sometime, and I hope you will take me to Kano to see your leather plug. And then I also say thank you to Vivian. God bless you all, and have a lovely evening. God bless you.